Hello, everybody. It's Amber from Equalize Digital. I am back with another live accessibility remediation. Um, it's been a while. I am sad to say it's been a while. If you were here for my last live stream, you saw that the website, I was going along thinking I was going to fix things really fast, and then the website wouldn't save. And I was so frustrated. We did some troubleshooting behind the scenes, some of my co-hosts on the WP Product Talk podcasts, and we ended up figuring out that no one knew why the website wouldn't save. And the result or the solution was we are going to roll back, and we rolled it back a week, which meant I actually lost all of my fixes from the previous session, which was a little bit annoying, but since I already knew what they were, it didn't take very long for me to repeat them. But I will say that is definitely a downside of working live on a server and not uh, doing any sort of version control. Anyway, today I feel like I have to do some catching up because I lost progress. I had to redo it. And then I lost a couple weeks of actually being able to do things. And if you'll remember, my goal for the WP Product Talk website is that I want it to be fully accessible by June. And that means I have a lot of work to do. So I'm going to dive in. I'm going to kind of brace myself, see how many things I can get done. If you are watching, please say hey in the chat. Give me a wave or a thumbs up. Please like this video. Please reshare it. Leave a comment. I will be able to see your comments and pop them in here. I always love to know that people are watching. So let me flip over and start sharing my screen. What we are looking at right now, just to give us a little reminder of where we are and what we were doing or where we were before. Currently, the website and accessibility checker has a 55.81% pass test score. There are 222 unique errors, 6 unique color contrast errors, 252 unique warnings, and 3 ignored item. I have an average number of 10 issues per page, average issue density of 1.4, and we've scanned 117 URLs on the site. I have one page with a 100% score right now, or one post. So this is where we are right now. I went back and I have a screenshot. It's going to be really blurry because I screenshotted it out of a YouTube video. Sorry, because I was trying to figure this out. I was like, where was I in January? This report was on January 1st. It's not much different, which seems frustrating. So we had, I'll show you something. There's actually more errors now, which means I got to go figure out what are those? Why are there more errors? So 55.81%, we're about at the same percent of past tests. Why would that be? It's because I haven't cleared an entire test. Then our unique errors have actually gone up 222 versus the 213 that we had in January, which is a super bummer. That said, my unique warnings in January were 517 and they are now 252. So we have definitely been clearing some things. Color contrast now is only 6 and it was 25 at the time. Another good thing here is average issues per page in January was 30 and we're down to 10. So why does this percent not look that much better? It's because this number calculates off of how many items are actually passed on our open issues page and whether or not they are. So if I have iframe missing title 1, image long alternative text 1, then these are still going to count as it's not a pass test because there is still one thing, but maybe when we first started out, there were actually 100 of these and I've made some progress, right? So that is one thing you kind of have to be aware about. Numbers and scoring sites is a little bit difficult. This is why I will say I love our audit history add-on, which comes with our small business and above plans, because what it does is it provides this graph. So actually in January, we're just looking at the end of January right now, there were 2,907 total issues. And we are down. We've dropped. There's a little drop here you can see yesterday because I came in and the plugins were deactivated for a time when we were troubleshooting issues. And then when I reactivated them and ran a scan yesterday, I forgot to go change the settings to scan our post type. So it looks like, oh, hey, it was really low. It was only low because we weren't scanning the episodes, which is where most of the content is. But where we are right now is 1,156 total issues. So we have gone from 3,000 issues to 1,156. So this is a huge amount of improvement since January. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do. So I am kicking myself off, and now I feel like I'm only going to give myself 50 minutes, but we'll see. And I'm going to start fixing some things. I want to go back to what I was trying to fix last time, which is empty buttons. So I'm going to click on this empty buttons. All of these are on the podcast. I'm going to show you these for just a minute. It's a button that goes to a YouTube video. If I click view on page, I'm going to open that in a new tab. That button I can see right here, and there's a little bit of a line. You can see it goes around the image. And what that button does is when I click it, it then loads the YouTube video. So obviously, this is a major problem because people who want to watch the podcast would not be able to watch the podcast because they wouldn't know that this is the button they have to click in order to load the video. So we are going to fix that because we really want everyone to be able to watch the WP Product podcast. And what I remember from last time is that that is being loaded with a short code, but we're going to go a few places. Let's see, Cadence Elements, and go up to, I'm going to find the episode header, single episode header, edit that, and just double check what that short code is. All right, so it's right here. WPPT _ episode _ featured _ image or _ YouTube. So we have under plugins is where our snippet thing is because it's in a custom spot. I'm going to go find that short code. So here's the short code in the snippet. And now I'm going to find my empty button. And it's right here. Button with no text. It has, I think there's like a background image or something there. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to add an ARIA label to this. ARIA label equals load YouTube video. Now, if this were ever to show up somewhere where there were multiple of them, I'd need to include the title of the video, but because there's never multiple on a page, it doesn't need to be unique in that way. So I added that. I'm going to go down and hit save changes. And I did test last night. The website was able to save. So let's go back to, hold on, I got to figure out where I was. Marketing problems. I'm going to take my accessibility checker parameters off this, refresh the page. And now if I inspect this button, I can see, woohoo, it worked. ARIA label load YouTube video, which means that this is no longer going to trigger an empty button. If I want to rescan the page, I can just go to it in the editor. And I'm going to see, there shouldn't be. Oh, there's another one. I might have to check and see if there's more than one, but let's save it real quick and see if we can get it to scan. Waiting. I'm just waiting right now. It should be scanning, but we'll see. There's also an empty link on there. There we go. So I went down to 2 errors. It's gone, right? Let's see. I'm curious what this empty link is. This is a link to go to the YouTube channel for WP Product Talk. Let's see where that is. I'm curious if that's another global thing. Where is it? It opens, but I don't, wait, is it here? Is there also a link? Okay, hold on. Let's go look at that snippet and see if there's also an empty link in this same snippet. There's the button we fixed. Here's an add to calendar link. Well, that's all commented out. No, there's another add to calendar. What I might need to do, because I don't see it here. Let me go back to the front end. Oh no, sorry. Actually, that's telling me image missing alternative text. Oh, we could fix that too. Image missing alternative text. That's in that same snippet. Where's that? Image. All right, so this is our source. So it does not even have an alt attribute. What we want to do is get the video. This is interesting. I don't totally understand the source on this image, to be totally honest with you all. It's like coming from i.ytimg.com. So I think it's pulling off of YouTube, maybe, which is a little bit frustrating. I'd rather it use the featured image because I kind of want it to I want it to include alt text that I could set in the media library, but it doesn't. So now I need to think about this. Let's go look at it for a second. Do we think this is decorative? It's right above the button. The button actually, if we close accessibility checker, we can see, ooh, that's not a great focus state. The button is that. I kind of think I'm going to call this decorative because it has text on it, but it also, all of that same text is right next to the image. So the title, the air date, the word live isn't, but it's not actually live when you come watch it here. So I don't think that's relevant. So I think what I'm going to do for this for now, and I am totally open to everyone, you can tell me if you don't think this is decorative, but what I think is I'm going to add empty alternative text and I'm going to add role equals presentation, because I don't think for the purpose of this page that a screen reader user really needs to know the image is there. What they need most is the button that loads the player. So I've got that. The reason why I added role equals presentation, that's a little bit of a hack for accessibility checker. You could just have empty alt text, but accessibility checker will then warn you about empty alt text and you will have to go ignore them and say, no, it's correct. I meant to do that. So a way in the code that you can tell it if you're coding in empty alt is you can add role equals presentation and accessibility checker will not flag that and ask you, are you sure? So I've just refreshed here real quick. I still don't know where that empty link is, but I'm just double checking that my image, yep. So my image now is no longer missing alt. The reason why you need empty alt, even if you don't want to describe, is that if you don't have that on a screen reader, it'll probably read out all of the text. So we can see if I save this again, should this image missing alternative text error should go away. So I'm going to let that scan for a minute and we'll come back to it because I'm trying to race. I still want to figure out where that empty link is. It's so weird. So I want to see if there's something I can focus on. That's the button. That's the product marketing tag. Now where am I? Oh, okay. I'm on the player. This focus state probably needs to be improved a little. Now I'm in the player. Ooh, that focus state really needs to be improved. There's a bunch of links there, but none of them go to the YouTube channel. Ooh, there's a link where I'm on YouTube. Where is it though? Wait, hold on. Where am I focused? This is when it's hard. I lost it. I can't find that. It's somewhere after this. There's an empty link that goes to the YouTube channel, but I don't know where it is. If I hit tab again, okay, so it's like before the transcript maybe. And I am hoping. I'm going to click through with accessibility checker and make sure that I can't. There's another empty alt, duplicate, empty link. Where is it? Oh, look at that. It's right at the front of this episode, in this episode. I think this might actually be on the episode single. That's weird. Let's click in this. Edit as HTML. Oh yeah, totally. There's a link hidden in this paragraph. I'm going to delete that because we don't actually need it. Go back to edit visually. I will say this is probably one of my favorite features of Accessibility Checker is that it will highlight for you things that are invisible, but you can focus on them with your keyboard and a screen reader user would encounter it, but it's just like a mistake, like an accident, right? Nobody meant to link that. So we should be, oh, look at this post. It makes me so happy. It has 0 errors now. We started with 3. All right, I still kind of want to see what else is global though. So I'm going to close out this one episode and we are going to go back to, where do I have it? I need to close some of these tabs here. Okay. So I think all of these empty button errors are the same thing. I'm just looking real quick, which means that one fix that I did will have resolved 78 of them. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking through the open issues tabs for empty button, and I'm just looking to see if there are any that are a different code snippet, and they're not. They're all. So I just fixed 78 things. It doesn't show that because I haven't run a full site scan, but we'll do that in just a little bit. So let's go back to open issues. And I am going to look and see what else. Image missing alternative text. There's 82 of those. I wonder if they're all the same. So I'm just going to look real quick. This kind of looks like it might. Okay, these are all images from the podcast. They're all on the podcast single. They all have a similar snippet that they're pulling the image off of YouTube. So I'm pretty sure that most of these, oh, wait, here's one that looks a little different. How we built a free AI chatbot. So this is on a blog post. Here's another one that's on a blog post. So these might be different. I'm going to click view on page on one of them. That element is not visible. That's interesting. So we might have to find that in a minute, but I'm going to come back because I'm still trying to figure out what can I do that's global. I think most of these I've fixed. Yeah, so there's a few on posts, which I'm going to need to try and figure out. This is also weird because it's an image tag and it doesn't have a like a source attribute on it. So it's not going to load as anything, which is why it's not visible. So there's some sort of weird image HTML being output that shouldn't be. Let's circle back to that in just a minute. What are other errors that could really cause a problem for someone? Empty links. Let's look at these. These are a few different ones. I'm going to click on a few of them. View on page. I bet these are not global. So this one again is in the post editor and it's at the end of a paragraph. Usually I see this happening in WordPress. So you see if I come in, I can't even see a link there, but there is a link. So on the paragraph, I have to click the 3 dots and then I have to click edit as HTML and then I can find the empty link. So the A tag that's inside that paragraph tag and I can delete it. I can go back to edit visually and I can hit save and that removes that. So let's just go ahead and see if we can clear all these. Oops, I did something dumb. Hold on. I closed it before it was done saving. Sometimes I do that. All right, let's see. Let's make sure it's actually gone. And I didn't hit close too soon. Okay, it is gone. It did save. Oh, it's asking me if well, just do that. I'm going to go ahead and how many are these? 32. I'm just going to open them all. View on page in new tabs. We'll see how the WP product talk server feels about this. Because I want to see if I can get rid of or correct all these. Now this one, it's an empty link error, but it looks like it contains an image. So that probably means this image to listen on Apple Podcasts is missing alt text. We're just going to keep going. I've got a couple of these actually. Are they all on the same page? They're all on the same page. So I'm only going to open that one once. This post handily is a draft, which is sort of interesting. It's got draft in the title. We could skip it for now, or we could clean it up so that it isn't broken. We've got some on the contact page. I'm going to only open that once. Here's one on the episodes page. All right. So let's go through these real quick. This was the one that I think I just fixed. Done. All right. This is another one at the end of a paragraph that's hidden in there. So I'm going to use this one by editing the actual episode. Edit the paragraph. I started to say this before and I didn't. I think I didn't finish because sometimes I get distracted. Oh, see, this actually has 2 empty links. It has an empty link to YouTube and an empty link to a different podcast episode. I think this happens when someone is maybe something was linked and you're like, oh, actually, I don't want that link there. And then you delete it. But WordPress doesn't delete the link, it just deletes the text inside the link. And so the A tag is still there. So you really have to be careful about that when you're editing in the block editor. It's really as a result of the fact that they are able to in WordPress. Here's another one. It's in its own little paragraph, it looks like too. It's nice that you can click in links more easily to edit the text of them at the start or the end of them, because on other tools, I have to cheat and put myself one letter over in order to edit text in a link. But it's a total empty paragraph that has an empty link in it, I bet you. Yeah, so we're just going to straight up delete this paragraph block because we don't even need that paragraph block. So there we go. Save that. But you got to watch it because it's a handy thing to be able to fix links or edit links like that, but you can accidentally create a bunch of empty links. And while you can't see them as a user, a screen reader user will encounter those, a keyboard user will encounter those. They'll be able to tab to them, but they won't know where they are because there's not really anything to be around. So it may not have a visible focus like we saw on the other page. Here's a bunch of these. So definitely have to watch out. Okay, let's see. I think this one is also at the end. Yep, here we go. All of these are also, I noticed, to a similar podcast, which makes me wonder if we might be, when episodes are being created on this site, they might be duplicating an existing one and then editing it, and just to make sure we have the same format or something. And it's entirely possible that when doing that, we're copying the same error over and over because it's not visible to a sighted person. Where's this one? This one's at the beginning of the first paragraph. Sometimes fixing problems, it's very kind of tedious like this. Paula's here. She said, oh, that happened to me last week with the deleting things. It is a weird bug of the block editor. All right, save. Okay, now we've got something totally different, which is we are on the episodes page and the empty link is surrounding what looks like a card. There's an image for the episode and it looks like it has text in it, which is super interesting to me. I'm trying to highlight it because I was like, I want to confirm that there is text in there and it's not letting me, but that might just be a weird thing with the way this particular card is. And it looks like they might all have this problem. Yeah, they all have this problem. Oops, I clicked on it and it went to the link. Let's go back. So I'm going to just remove the accessibility checker parameters for a minute. I will show you, we've edited a few. We had 32. I'm going to hit refresh on this page. And now we're down to 26. Look at that. This one is done. All right. So this episodes page, I have to figure out how it is built. So I'm just going to open it in a new tab. I'm also going to inspect this. So this is a cadence block. Ooh, we ran into this the other day. Let's see. There's a query grid. I can't see a preview for it, which is a little weird. But I'm guessing this is what it is. Let me see. It's a grid, 3 columns, 2 column, but that wasn't 3 columns, was it? No, that was a 2 column. Image settings. No, this is post grid carousel. I wonder if this is going to be one of those things where this is actually pulling from somewhere else, not here. Cadence query grid. Let me look real quick at the cadence elements and see if there's an episode grid. I wonder if I view this, if it will actually give me a preview of it. Nope. Okay. Edit. Yeah. Okay. So it's pulling from here. So this is a weird thing. I thought I had to edit the episodes page, but actually I have to go under appearance, cadence, elements. So if I click on this, the link is linked with the overlay link. And it's linking the entire section. And before, remember I tried to use this on the home page. There is a section on the home page down here at the bottom where subscribe on YouTube. And I wanted to put a link on the whole card and it was outputting an empty link. Well, I did message Ben from Cadence about this, who is going to come on in April as an FYI. And he said there is actually a way to add text to the link. Currently, it's a little bit hidden, but he said he might be able to make it surface more visibly. So in the overlay links section, we're going to test this out because I haven't tested it since he told me this exists. There's the option to link the entire section. This is dynamically set to link to the post URL for the current post. Now I'm going to open that. There's like a link settings button that looks like an arrow to the right of that. And there's a title. The one issue that I see here is I don't know if I can put dynamic content in here because I don't see a button for that. So we're going to test this out. This is an empty link anyway. So I'm just going to put some text in here to figure out, would it work? So if I just put go to episode, does this do what I think it will do and actually add like an ARIA label or something on the link? It says title. I'm hoping it doesn't add a title attribute. Because title attributes are not a good way to label links, but we're going to see. So that's loading. Now I'm going to refresh my episodes page and I'm going to inspect one of these cards. And it does indeed add an ARIA label. So the big challenge here now is there a way to make it dynamic? Because why does it need to be dynamic? The reason why is because it needs to include the title or some other information. because it's not helpful if they all just say, go to episode, go to episode, go to episode. Now on the homepage where it's just one block, that's totally fine. I could adjust that, and maybe I will go back and do that at some point. Um, but right now, we need to figure out. I'm gonna go to my friend Google. I always feel like maybe there's a risk to doing this live where you guys can see me searching, but hopefully nothing weird will come up. Cadence WP overlay link dynamic title. How to use dynamic content with Cadence. Oh, there's also a feature request. Uh-oh. Let's see. So somebody is saying there's a feature request to make it dynamic. I'm looking at the blog post, how to use dynamic content, to see if there's anything helpful in here. Custom post types? No, we don't really care about that. Okay. I think the downside is that there is no way to make this title dynamic. So while this is here, it does not function in this particular scenario. So what I'm going to do right now, because I don't want empty links, I want people to be able to find our episodes and listen to them, is I am going to remove this link on the overlay. So first I got to figure out how to do it. Turn off. There we go. All right. So there is no overlay link now. And what I'm going to do instead is I am going to, I guess, link the image. I wonder if I can dynamic alt text. Oh, this is handy. It says that it will change it in the media library. But I really want it to link to the post title. Oh, this is the same thing. So the image link can be dynamic, but the title can't. So here's what I think I'm going to do, because I bet you, let's save this for a second now that I've removed the overlay link. And now I'm going to inspect this and see what it looks like. So there is a link on the image. The image has, the link does not have any sort of ARIA label. The image has no alternative text. All right. So without spending too much time digging into it, because I know I can't do dynamic alt to set this to always be the title of the episode, I am going to, again, right now, if you're a developer, you might do something different, but right in this moment, me being like, I want to make this work, I am going to remove the link, because I don't see under advanced. Yeah, there's no way to make the link use the post title if you link to the post URL. So I'm removing the link from the image. And what I am going to do that I think is the best solution is I am going to add the title of the episode, and I'm going to link that. So you will no longer be able to click on the image. You will have to click on the title, or maybe watch here. But again, if we can't dynamically do that, even the watch here, I think needs to go away. So let me go back. I don't even see. Oh, there's the watch here. That's an excerpt. That might work. Let's inspect that. Watch here link, inspect. Nope. Why does it not? So that also is, it's just watch here, watch here, watch here, watch here, right? So that's problematic because it's not unique. It doesn't tell us what we would be watching. So is there any way on that link? I wonder what block this is. This is just a core. I deleted the link for a second. Yeah, William says, I think the watch here is a repetitive link that needs screen reader text to make it not ambiguous. And I agree. What is odd to me is this to me looks like a core excerpt block, like you do in a post-lit loop. And it's weird to me that it doesn't. But I'm wondering if the fact that the read more got changed to watch here then excludes the it gets rid of the screen reader text that would normally be there. So okay, so I deleted it and it just now there is no link at all. So not great. Let's see. Watch here. I wonder if there's there might be a dynamic way. Okay, dynamic content. In here, I want to get the post title for the current post, add dynamic content. Ooh, okay, I figured this out. All right, so I added that in the read more link. Now I want to make that screen reader text, so I'm highlighting it. I'm using my screen reader only. Hit save. Let's go look at it on the front. Now we should have a link that still says watch here and has screen reader text for the episode title. Hey, that worked out. That was awesome. So going back to editing this element then, I still think we need a title because I find it weird that the only thing would be the link. Design-wise, I guess we're going to put it. I wish there was a way to get. Oh, I'm thinking about something. Hold on. Let's see. So it's a little weird that we have an image. Can I put. I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to put a caption below the image. And I'm going to add dynamic content into the image. Now I'm getting interesting. Okay, current post title in the caption. Then I'm going to make the caption. We'll see how this works. Come on. I can't highlight it all. I want to highlight it. I really want to make the caption screen reader text. Oh, but because it's only, wait. Let me see if I add extra text, not beyond the dynamic content. There we go. Okay, that's annoying. Weird bug. I had to add something fake, so I put test. Now I'm gonna make it all. Oh no, I can't do. Darn. I was really hoping I'd be able to use my screen reader text format. All right, I could slightly hack this, I bet you though. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go over to this episode. I'm gonna get the exact same class that we have here. So this span, we're gonna see what happens if I break it, if I edit as that block as HTML. I'm gonna use this exact same class because I know it works. So let's go back here. And I'm gonna add a link on this. I took it off, but I'm gonna add enable dynamic link to the post URL for the current post. Okay, so now that's there. Now I also have my dynamic title down below. How much will the blog editor hate me if I edit this as HTML and I move the link text? We're going to figure this out. It may or may not like it. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I'm going to move the end of the link around, and then I'm going to get rid of my test on this span that already exists for the dynamic stuff. Actually, wait, is that going to break it? I don't know. We'll find out. class. I'm going to add a class, and I'm going to add the same screen reader class. Edit visually. So it's telling me it contains unexpected or invalid content. However, that does not necessarily mean that it won't work. So I'm going to straight up save it and find out what happens. We'll see. It may or may not like what I just did. Refresh. Oh, my screen reader text didn't stay. But the link does include the caption now instead of the link ending above the caption. So I got to put a different span on it or put that class somewhere else because it did not like the way I did that. So we're going to go back and edit this as HTML. Now, the thing about doing it this way, I could potentially straight up convert it to HTML. I wonder what happens if I do that. Is I have to tell people, though, it is weird that this class didn't work for screen reader text. Were there 2 class attributes? Oh. Thank you, William. William says it was invalid HTML because there were 2 class attributes, which is true. I was not paying attention. So that is why it did not do that. I need to add my class onto there. And I've already forgotten what my class is. So let me go grab it again real quick. So there we go. Now there's 2 class. But I'm leaving it as an HTML block. The reason why I'm leaving it as an HTML block is I think it still would flag an invalid HTML because the end of the link is not where the block expects it to be. And so it would be like, you need to convert this or you need to attempt to recover it. And I don't want to leave it that way because nope, it still isn't hiding the screen reader text. That is so weird. It's like ignoring. I wonder if that span, when it does the dynamic thing, I wonder if it strips that out. It kind of looks like it does. All right, so solution. I'm going to add my own span. All right, but I'm going to put it, or I'm going to put the class on the caption. Let's do that. Save. Part of me wonders if there's some way, it probably wouldn't work, but to take that HTML with the classes for dynamic content and see, haha, look, it's gone now. But it's still in the link, I'm sure. So we've got our image with no alt. And there's our fig caption that is screen reader only. This did sort of mess up the design that Matt had on here. Let's see. How was he doing this? Did he have like, oh, there's a margin on here that we don't want. Let's just open the customizer and see if we can eliminate that margin. It's probably like a fig caption margin. Oh, wait, I could actually do that here. What do you think about this? Fig caption style. Now that I've made this HTML. Margin dash bottom :0. I will totally admit this kind of hackery works well if you are working on a site with other people who understand code or are developers. Like, I don't think Matt's going to come in here and be like, what the heck, right? I mean, I'll probably have to tell him what I did, but I've got the preview. But this kind of stuff, I don't know that I would do this on a client website, right? Like, I would be like, okay, we need to come up with a different blog-based solution for this because they would not be able to handle that. Let's go back. I've got too many of these episodes pages open, apparently. Oh, it didn't get rid of my margin. Or did I not save? Maybe I also didn't save. But if this doesn't work, then I'll go back to doing it in the customizer. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's not a page that I want to open. That's the one with the customizer. This is the one. Let's refresh. Nope. It didn't get rid of my margin. Let's see. There's the image. There's the fig caption. There's a link. Oh, the figure tag has a margin. That's weird. Why did it not have a margin on the figure tag before? We'll just do this. Move it to the figure tag. And then do a little. There we go. All right, so now this can be linked and it won't be an empty link because it has, oops, the title as screen reader text inside it. So that's handy. Okay, so I think I'm okay now with not adding a title. So it visually looks the same. It's not fully the same because you can't click on the excerpt paragraph, for example, but you can click on the image, which includes the title, and you can click on the watch here, which includes the title. So that to me is sufficient for now. I mean, we might revisit this card thing, I think, when Ben comes on, because I would love to figure out a way to have the card with a dynamic title on the dynamic links. So let's go back. Open issues. I'm going to hit refresh on this. Oh, we still have 26. Oh, you know why? If I want to fix this, I need to. Yeah, there's a whole bunch on that page. What I didn't do, so I fixed all those problems somewhere else, not on the specific page. They're still going to show up on the page unless I run like another full site scan or I just go to that specific page and I hit save on it. That's going to trigger it to scan. Look, this one has a missing form label on it too. We'll have to investigate that in a minute, but I'm still trying to work on these empty links. So Be Our Guest has an empty link somewhere. Where is it? Oh, down here. All these guys. Probably because those don't have alternative text. So let's edit this page. And podcast footer, this is a reusable block. So I need to hit edit original. Then I'm going to click on, this is a gallery. What do I need to do? This might be a cadence gallery block, so I'm not super familiar with it. So give me 1 second while I figure out how I add alt text on these. Edit, add gallery images. Here we go. Okay, so we can just go right through them. Listen on Apple Podcasts. YouTube Music. Review us on Podchaser. And listen on Spotify. So they all have alternative text now. I'm going to save this podcast footer pattern. Waiting for it to save. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go back. Now I'm on the page where it looks like actually saving that helped. It got rid of all of those. We only have incorrect heading order on this. While we're here, maybe we can fix it. What is it? Apply here. Oh yeah, for sure. Is this Be Our Guest is our H1 on WP Product Talk is a span, so it's decorative. Apply here, this should be an H2. I can make it smaller though. Let's go with that. So it can be visually similar to how it was. I'm not going to make it gray because I'm not super worried about it being gray instead of purple, but I could have done that. There's an ARIA hidden element. Sometimes I'm like on a page and I'm like, you know what? It's so close. I want to fix that page. Oh, now there's an H4. Listen on. Oh, yeah. See, that was also in the wrong order. So let's go back to edit this. This should also just be an H2. But again, it can be smaller if we don't want it to be that small. All right. Let's see. There must be a big delay on these because I had somebody else tell me about my 2 classes on the span when I broke just now. Okay, that's done. That's back. What do we see? Woohoo! 0 errors. What has ARIA hidden on it? Oh, I thought I had a global. There's an expand on the drop down. We won't worry about that right now. All right. Contact page. Empty links on the contact page. Oh, this might be the same thing. I bet you if we go edit this page, I bet it's using that same footer. Hopefully it's using that same footer. Fingers crossed. Those empty links are no longer there. Let's see. Linked image, empty alternative text. Let me save this. And then we'll see if that actually was the same reusable block or it's just something that looks exactly the same but didn't sync the changes. Yep. So what I fixed on that other page also fixed it here. We also have an incorrect heading order of get in touch. That's an H2. Let's just make this a span. Oh, well, that was annoying. If I make it a span, let's see, it needs to be bold and it needs to have no margin on the bottom. Or this needs to have no margin. Where's my spacing styles for these? I always don't know because I'm not super familiar with this. Text orientation, advanced highlight settings, maybe under advanced. Oh, there we go. Let's do the top on this as a 0. Why did it add all that? He must have had a style that was targeting the H6. There is definitely a top margin on this. So 0. There we go. It's weird that editing this one added margin to the one below it. I don't totally understand that, but that's what it did. All right, let's see. I'm going to go back while this is saving. I want to go back and refresh this page and see where we're at. 4! Only 4 left. 3 of them are on a page that's labeled draft. I do sort of wonder if it's actually a published page. We'll find out. And then we have, this is an episode, which is probably the same thing where we've accidentally left an empty link inside a paragraph. Let's see. Yep. Easy fix. All right. Edit as HTML. Delete this. I forgot to hit edit visually, but that's probably okay. There we go. All right. So let's go while that is saving. This is my use lots of tabs so you can move fast. And I want to look at this. Is this actually a draft? Yeah, it probably is because it doesn't have an actual URL. I wonder what this was about. This draft. Block has been deleted or is unavailable. I feel like, all right, let's go back to posts. Maybe Matt was using this post to test something And I think we know that that we're using a short code for this now, so I'm gonna do something that might be dicey. Matt, if you watch this later and you hate me, let me know. I'm gonna trash the post. I don't think we need it. I don't think it's a draft that we're ever gonna use or that we need to reference. So I'm just getting rid of it only because I really want this to say 0. And it says 0. 0 empty link errors. Yay. Okay. We are at 11:57 and I want to do like a couple of these one things and I want to run a full site scan because I really want to see the result of my empty button fix right here. And my images missing alternative text fix right there because I feel like this has been a major improvement in just a few minutes. And I also started 7 minutes after the hour. So, real quick, let's go see. I've got one broken ARIA reference. I'm probably going to do this and it might be really hard. So this is an ARIA labeled by, and I bet you it might be referencing an element that doesn't exist. It's on the schedule page. I don't even know what the schedule page is. I'm going to view this page. I didn't even know this page exists. We have a calendar. And so the element isn't found on the page, which is interesting. Why do we have a paragraph that has an ARIA labeled by on it? That is so weird. All right, hold on. I'm going to just double check ourselves and see what the deal is. View page source. I do this sometimes. I view the source, I search for the thing. It does exist. I bet you it might get reloaded and it's possible. I don't remember all of the logic on all of our rules, but some of them haven't been converted to JavaScript yet. I do find that really weird though, that there's a paragraph with ARIA labeled by on it. I want to see how this page is built. Oh, it's just Pi calendar. Well, maybe that is a conversation for next time, which is looking at Pi calendar uh, and trying to figure out why do you have an ARIA labeled by attribute on a paragraph that references nothing. So I can't do anything about that. I've only got like 1 more minute before I'm going to call it iframe missing title. I probably can do something about this. It's a Figma embed. I'm not even viewing on page. I'm going right. Yep. All right. So there's a HTML block with an iframe for Figma. I guess actually I should know what this is. It's a Figma. You guys, I didn't even know we had a brand style guide. All right, let's add a title to this. That way people know when they encounter the iframe what it is. I'm just going to put it right at the beginning. Title equals WP product talk brand style guide Figma embed. Save. And this should get rid of that one error. You always want to have a title on iframes so that when a screen reader user encounters them, they know what it is and whether or not they want to enter it and continue exploring through it. All right, so that's gone. All right, so we're at 12 o'clock. What I'm going to do in my last few minutes, I'm going to call it on editing any issues. And I am going to go over to Accessibility Checker Full Site Scan. And I'm going to do a new accessibility check. And I'm going to run my accessibility check. I didn't even pay attention, but I think there's like 119 pages or something. In just a second, it should go up. But I am hoping this will start going. Let's see. Because what I super want is I want to see a better number on that open issues page than what we saw before. There we go. It's going to start going. I'm probably not going to stay live the whole time. I don't know. We'll see how fast it goes and whether or not I'm willing to give it about 5 or 6 minutes. And I'm guessing it won't be able to check 116 pages in 5 minutes. That would be awesome if it did, but it won't. But what I will do is I will post in the comment on this video where we were afterwards. I'm going to leave this open and I will tell you, obviously tune in next week and you'll be able to see as well. We'll do a quick recap of where we started. But what I can say is I am confident that when this is done running based on what I did in an hour, I will have fixed 72 empty buttons, 76 images missing alternative text. And obviously, we fixed all those empty links, which was really awesome. Uh, so that's what I did. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I very much appreciate it. And I will be back next week for another live stream. And if you have any questions, please post them in the chat. If you have not already, please like this video, give it a big thumbs up. That really helps me. It makes the algorithms like me too. And share it with other people. Because again, my goal with these is to try and show you that accessibility remediation does not have to be hard and that you can get a lot done, even if you just know some basic HTML. You notice I did HTML, I did no PHP, nothing, no JavaScript, nothing super fancy right now. So